The military is bad. We have generals that do such a bad job, they never get fired. I mean, they should have been fired for...
That was Donald Trump just a few days ago, yet again insulting our military and insulting our generals. And you know what? This may actually be one of our most important reports we have ever done here at the MeidasTouch Network, because I want to share a bombshell news story about one of our top generals who is speaking out and warning about a second Donald Trump presidency. My name is Brett Meiselas here with the MeidasTouch Network. Remember to hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3.5 million subscribers, and make sure you're sharing this video because we need everybody to know about this story. Today I want to talk about General Mark Milley. General Mark Milley was the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under Donald Trump. I want to remind you what General Mark Milley said in September of 2023, where he hinted that he was speaking about Donald Trump. He didn't quite say his name, but he said these powerful words. Watch.
We don't take an oath to a king or a queen or to a tyrant or a dictator, and we don't take an oath to a wannabe dictator. We don't take an oath to an individual. We take an oath to the Constitution, and we take an oath to the idea that it's America, and we're willing to die to protect it. Every soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, Guardian, and Coast Guardsman, each of us commits our very life to protect and defend that document, regardless a personal price.
Now, those were incredibly powerful words at the time, but now General Milley is making his most direct statements yet about Donald Trump. And this is very, very important, folks. Here's from Axios. It says Trump's top general calls former president fascist and dangerous threat. They write, retired U.S. Army General Mark Milley said former President Trump is a, quote, fascist to the core, according to journalist Bob Woodward's forthcoming book, War, Why It Matters. Milley's existing scorn for the GOP presidential nominee has escalated. He is now the most dangerous person to this country, he told Woodward. Quote, I had suspicions when I talked to you about his mental decline and so forth, but now I realize he is a total fascist. Milley, who served from 2019 to 2023, said to Woodward. That should send chills down your spine that this general who worked with Donald Trump is saying that. Let me read a little bit more from this. Context. Milley, who Trump nominated to be chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, has previously made criticisms of Donald Trump. Milley has been criticized by the far right. A never-sent draft resignation letter by Milley said Trump was doing great and irreparable harm to the U.S. in 2020 after police used tear gas and batons to clear protesters and journalists out of the then president's way for a photo op. Woodward's book reveals that Milley insisted on securing a meeting with Attorney General Merrick Garland to urge him to investigate domestic violent extremism and far-right militia movements after the January 6th attack on the Capitol, per The Independent. Milley said he was, quote, deeply convinced that Trump remained a danger to the U.S. after losing the 2020 election. Milley told Woodward he fears being recalled to uniform and court-martialed if Trump wins the election, The Guardian reported. Trump previously expressed wanting to court-martial retired military officers, per the Washington Post. And if you remember, Donald Trump had threatened Mark Milley with execution not too long ago. Let me read you that message in case you forgot. He wrote, Mark Milley, who led the most embarrassing moment in American history with his grossly incompetent implementation of the withdrawal from Afghanistan, costing many lives, leaving behind hundreds of American citizens, and handing over billions of dollars of the finest military equipment ever made, will be leaving the military next week. This will be a time for all citizens of the USA to celebrate. This guy turned out to be a woke train wreck who, if the fake news reporting is correct, was actually dealing with China to give them the heads up on the thinking of the President of the United States. This is an act so egregious that in times gone by, the punishment would have been death. A war between China and the United States could have been the result of this treasonous act to be continued. That sounds like a threat to me. And immediately following Donald Trump's threat of execution against one of our U.S. military generals, which, by the way, did not get nearly enough attention even at the time, Mark Milley had to take safety precautions after that for himself and his family. This is from Vanity Fair. The Army general, whom Trump essentially accused of high treason, says he's been faithful and loyal to the Constitution over his 44-plus years of service and has to take safety precautions after Trump suggests he should be executed. And Donald Trump says this a lot, and I think we have to take him seriously when he says these sorts of things. Donald Trump reposts accounts on his social media app that are QAnon accounts, like this one that I'm showing you right here, and they say things like this: Elizabeth Liz Cheney is guilty of treason. Read truth if you want televised military tribunals. By the way, this is a big thing with QAnon, the conspiracy theory group that Donald Trump is basically a part of and his followers are a part of. When they say the storm is coming, the storm that they are speaking about are public executions of Donald Trump's political enemies and of U.S. generals. That's what they're talking about. That's their end goal of QAnon. You even see this report from military.com sounding the alarm. Trump shares social media posts with QAnon phrases and calls for jailing lawmakers, special counsels. And that clip I showed you in the beginning was not the first time that General Milley made similar comments. Let me show you these comments he made in the wake of the November 2020 election after Donald Trump was deemed a loser. This was very important for him to say at the time. Watch this.
We are unique among militaries. We do not take an oath to a king or a queen, a tyrant or a dictator. We do not take an oath to an individual. No, we do not take an oath to a country, a tribe, or a religion. We take an oath to the Constitution. And every soldier that is represented in this museum, every sailor, airman, Marine, Coast Guardsman, each of us will protect and defend that document regardless of personal price.
All right, breaking news. My latest meal from Cook Unity, these Korean brisket tacos that I got, was so good I feel like I need to shout it from the rooftops. Cook Unity is the #1 meal delivery service in the USA, and once you try it, you'll understand why. It's like having a personal chef handpick the best local ingredients and deliver them straight to your door. Cook Unity is the first ever marketplace where everyday folks can discover and celebrate the best food the world has to offer. With award-winning chefs, local farm-fresh ingredients, and vibrant flavors, Cook Unity delivers culinary excellence directly to your home. I've been using Cook Unity for a little while now, and I'm always excited for every single meal. Recently, I ordered a meal from Chef Dustin Taylor, who's an absolute rock star in the kitchen, by the way. I went for his urban roasted garlic surf and turf, and the flavor combination was out of this world fresh ingredients, perfectly cooked, and packed with flavor. It felt like a restaurant quality meal, but at home. And the best part, no prep, no mess, just heat it up and enjoy in minutes. Cook Unity stands out from the other meal services because it's not just convenient, it's delicious. The quality of the ingredients, the creativity of the chefs, and the fact that I'm supporting local talent make it feel like a truly elevated dining experience. Plus, the meals are fresh, never frozen, and made with seasonal, organic ingredients whenever possible. You've got all-star chefs like Food Network favorites and James Beard Award winners crafting these meals, so you know you're getting top-notch food. The variety is incredible too. Whether you're craving something light or hearty, there's always something new and exciting to try. Eating well is easy with Cook Unity. Affordable food crafted by award-winning chefs delivered right to your door. Go to cookunity.com/Meidas or enter code Meidas before checkout for 50% off your first week. That's 50% off your first week by using code Meidas, that's MEIDAS, or going to cookunity.com/Meidas. So I guess you see why Donald Trump, somebody who himself has said he wants to, quote, terminate the Constitution, despises somebody, a U.S. military general, a well-respected U.S. military general who has vowed an oath to the Constitution and not to him personally. You could see why he wants to get rid of somebody like Milley. And by get rid of, I mean to kill. That's what he wants to do. As you could see here from this clip from fairly recently, Donald Trump was on Fox and said that he wanted to fire the military generals of our country and replace them with MAGA loyalists. This is also a key part of Project 2025. I should remind you. Watch this clip.
Are you going to fire those generals? The woke generals at the top? Because you've been talking
Yes,
about it.
I would get rid of them, yeah. But see, now I know him. I didn't know him before. I came in. What do I know? I was a New York real estate person, but no, I'd fire them. I would fire them. You can't have woke military.
And I could show you a bunch of clips that are sort of similar. Here's Donald Trump from August speaking about Mark Milley and calling him a very stupid person. Watch this.
But Milley was a stupid person, very stupid. But, we have great generals, but Milley was stupid. Guys like John Kelly he's one of the dumbest people I've ever met.
Here's Trump at a rally in July suggesting that he would fire our military generals and replace them with NASCAR drivers and football coaches. Watch.
It's great. How you do it is amazing. It's so amazing. We should send you I've always said, get some of these guys. I have a lot of friends in that world. I don't know. I think, is it Roger Penske like a great guy too? He won 20 Indianapolis 500s. This guy wins all the time. I mean, we appreciate talent. They said, let me use these guys to guide our military a little bit. When you can win so many races, that's okay. You know, you guide. Same thing with coaches. You take some of the greatest football coaches, you put them at a table. What do you like, coach? Because in its own way, it's not so much really different.
And we see time and time again the hatred, the utter disdain that Donald Trump has for the men and women who have served our country so bravely. Remember recently in August when Donald Trump said that the Presidential Medal of Freedom was actually much better than the Congressional Medal of Honor because the people who get the Congressional Medal of Honor are either in bad shape or dead because they've been in war? Watch this.
I have to say, Miriam, I watched Sheldon sitting so proud in the White House when we gave Miriam the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's the highest award you can get as a civilian. It's the equivalent of the Congressional Medal of Honor, but civilian version. It's actually much better because everyone gets the Congressional Medal of Honor. That's soldiers. They're either in very bad shape because they've been hit so many times by bullets or they're dead. She gets it, and she's a healthy, beautiful woman. It's very... And they're rated equal.
Or do you remember about just over a week ago when Donald Trump downplayed the brain injuries our troops got during his presidency and just referred to them as headaches when he was asked about it? This was particularly disgusting. Watch this.
Attacks from Iran, but also, do you believe that you should have been tougher on Iran after they had launched ballistic missiles in 2020 on U.S. forces in Iraq, leaving more than 100 U.S. soldiers injured?
So, first of all, injured. What does injured mean? Injured means you mean because they had a headache, because the bombs never hit the fort. So just so you understand, there was nobody ever tougher in Iraq. They had no money with me. They would have made any deal with me. I would have had a deal made within 1 week after the election.
And we could also talk about the altercation that Donald Trump's campaign staff had with the officials at Arlington National Cemetery. We could speak about Donald Trump calling our soldiers who died in war suckers and losers. I could go on and on and on and on, the comments he made about John McCain, but I think you get the point right here. And when our U.S. generals are sounding the alarm like this, you have to realize that this is incredibly unusual. This does not happen in the United States of America, so we better listen up. I want to close this video out by showing you this clip. We had retired Lieutenant General Ben Hodges of the U.S. Army Europe on our show on the MeidasTouch network a few months back, and he was speaking about what pushed him over the edge on Donald Trump and how Donald Trump spoke about the generals as if we were a third world country. I think this is also an important data point to show you about what our generals think of Trump and why he is such a threat. Take a look.
The thing that really pushed me over the edge on Mr. Trump was when I heard him talking about my generals and my judges, as if we were some third world country, that the judges and generals and other authorities all owed their fealty to whoever the dictator was. And I just can't imagine that the founding fathers intended that, you know, the president would have this kind of personal control over generals. But that's obviously how Mr. Trump thinks, and it's reprehensible.
It is truly stunning to hear these generals speak out against a former president and a current presidential candidate in this way. So I hope you take it as seriously as we are taking it, and I hope you share this video and get this out to as many people as possible, because these are the kinds of things that people need to see and that the corporate media far too often ignores or sanewashes or downplays, whatever you want to call it. So hit share, hit subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment. Let's get this video around there. Let's make sure that people are seeing all of this. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you soon.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.